Hi, I'm Sue Burdett with Monarch Financial Advisors, and today we're going to talk about the second piece to getting our financial house in order. There are really three pieces. There's where we are today. Sorry, I'm boring you. Well, there's where we are today. I'm going to leave this in here because I think that is really funny. There's where we are today. There's where we go every day, month, quarter in the future, and then there's where we want to be. So last week we talked about budgets and cash flows, which is where we are every day, month, or quarter. But today we're going to talk about where we are today, which is really the foundation for our financial house. We're going to talk about our net worth. So our net worth is really everything we have today versus everything we owe. So what do we have today, which is what's called our assets? So your assets could be anything really that you have. It could be your house, your cars, if you have a boat, if you have a 401k plan or a 403b plan at work. It could be any kind of savings or investments that you have. It could be the cash value in a life insurance policy that you have. It could be an inheritance that you just received. It could be an annuity. It could also be a wonderful wine cellar or a Picasso on the wall or gold that you have in your closet. Whatever it is, all of those assets are the first piece to determining your net worth. But we can't just look at those because if you're like many Americans, we owe somebody something. So then we have to subtract off the obligation piece of it. So what are the obligations? Well, it's the outstanding mortgage on your house. It's any loans that you might have from your cars or your boat. It could be a loan that you've taken right now because of the pandemic, because you're in financial straits and you needed a loan. So we need to count that. It could also mean credit card debt, anything that you owe on your credit cards. It could be a loan from your 401k. So it's anything that you owe. It could be taxes that you filed for that you haven't quite paid yet because we have until July this year. So it's anything that you know that you owe. So we're going to take all of our assets and we're going to subtract off what you owe. And that gives us our launching point. That gives us our foundation for our financial house. So it's really critical to get this right. So we want to make sure that we capture everything, both on the asset and the obligation side, to make sure we're starting off at the right point. Then we're going to add in our budgets and our cash flow from last week to determine where we're expecting to be in the future if everything works out the way that we expect it to. The third piece of the puzzle that we'll talk about next week is setting those goals in the future. And if there's a disconnect between where we are today and our budgets and cash flows and where we want to be in the future, how we can make some tweaks in our financial plans in order to make sure that we get there, or in order to at least have a higher likelihood that we're going to get there. But really, a critical part is determining that net worth and having a really solid foundation for our financial house so we can be ready for the future and meet all of those goals that we have. Make sure that you count all of your assets and all of your obligations in your net worth so we can have a really solid foundation for our financial house. Happy Monday. Let's make it a great week.